Welcome to the Nevis Newscast for Monday, March 16th, 2020. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. Premier the Honourable Mark Brantley has assured the Nevisian public that the risks associated with the novel coronavirus COVID-19 outbreak are being effectively anticipated, managed and planned for. In an address broadcast live on Nevis television on Monday, March 16th, the Premier urged residents to access information from the government as its professionals will be updating them regularly with accurate information.
I have been assured by our major supermarkets that our imported food supply is not yet at risk. I have instructed our Ministry of Agriculture to immediately seek to put more short-term food crops under cultivation and to bring our crop, meat, and poultry farmers together quickly to determine how the government can better incentivize them to rapidly increase production over the next several months. Thankfully, production had already been increased for our annual Agriculture Open Day. The Ministry of Health will shortly publish protocols to manage large events already planned for the island, such as our annual Inter-Primary School Championships and Agriculture Open Day. I have also directed that all non-essential travel for government ministers and public servants be suspended until further notice. We are monitoring the situation with our schools and will be guided by the ongoing advice of our experts. Our health workers will be deployed across our schools to bring accurate information to our teachers and students and to provide monitoring. I have designated a team led by Dr. Judy Nisbet and comprising Nadine Carty-Keynes of our Health Promotion Unit, Zanella Claxton, our Principal Education Officer, Brian Dyer of our Disaster Management, Oral Brandy of the Nevis Air and Seaports Authority, Jadine Yard of the Nevis Tourism Authority, Paulette Bartlett of Immigration, and Superintendent Lyndon David of the Nevis Police to be the focal group on this matter and to report directly to me as Premier on a daily basis.
The Premier also urged the private sector to partner with the government in its efforts to prevent the spread of the virus.
As Minister of Finance, I have directed that with immediate effect, all duties and VAT be suspended from hand sanitizers, hand sanitizing dispensing machines, sanitizing aerosol sprays such as Lysol, soaps, disinfectants, masks, gloves, gowns, and other protective clothing, and ventilators and/or nebulizers for those seeking to invest in their own equipment. I am hereby appealing to the business sector to maintain steady prices and not hike prices in this difficult time.
Meantime, in his address carried live on Nevis television on Monday morning, March 16th, Premier the Honourable Mark Brantley noted that older persons are among those at higher risk for serious illness from the novel coronavirus.
Inasmuch as seniors appear most susceptible to the worst impact of COVID-19, I have asked that with immediate effect, large gatherings of our senior groups be suspended and that visits to the Flamboyant Home and to the St. George's Anglican Home be restricted to immediate family or primary caregiver only.
Persons with underlying illnesses including cardiovascular disease, diabetes, chronic respiratory disease, and hypertension are also at higher risk.
The COVID-19 virus appears to attack persons who are already sick with potentially disastrous consequences. I am well aware of the wonderful practice of our churches and religious groups to visit our hospital on Sundays to bring songs and prayers to the patients there. I accordingly crave the understanding of our church and religious community in temporarily suspending such group visits. I ask them, nevertheless, to offer their prayers for our sick and infirm, as indeed I ask them to pray for all of Nevis. I have directed the Ministry of Social Development and our Seniors Division to liaise with the Ministry of Health to ensure that all seniors and persons with underlying high-risk conditions across the island are visited and provided with accurate information, and that robust regular monitoring be undertaken, especially of seniors and others who live on their own. We shall, as of tomorrow, have a dedicated COVID-19 Facebook page to bring immediate updates to the Nevis public via social media.
According to Premier Brantley, Nevis has adopted the Caribbean Public Health Agency CARFA checklist and continues to utilize it to assess the island's preparedness and response.
Travel advisories issued for China, Italy, South Korea, Iran, Hong Kong, Japan, and Singapore. And as the situation evolves, these advisories will be adjusted. Persons are asked to refrain from traveling to and from these countries and other COVID-19 affected areas. Heightened port health surveillance and border control. Interagency collaboration with NASPA, Customs and Immigration. Screening of all incoming passengers at the Vance W. Amory International Airport by a port-assigned nurse. And increase risk awareness via radio, print, TV, and social media platforms.
Junior Minister of Health in the Nevis Island Administration, the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams, speaking about the COVID-19 preparedness and response plans in St. Kitts and Nevis. Minister Brandy Williams was speaking during an address made on Friday, March 13th at the Department of Information. The Junior Minister of Health reiterated the commitment of the Nevis Island Administration in keeping the impending threat of COVID-19 on the top of its agenda.
Continuous sensitization and training for health workers in infection prevention, control, and management of patients. We have invested in the procurement of essential medical supplies and equipment, such as ventilators and personal protective equipment. Our health facilities are making the necessary preparations to quarantine, isolate, treat, and manage cases. We are in contact with our international partners such as CARFA and PAHO, who have provided training and will conduct assessment of our facilities shortly. The Nevis Island Administration has placed this impending threat on the forefront of its agenda.
Junior Minister of Health, the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams. Still to come, Caribbean Tourism Organization postpones 10th Tourism Resources Conference in Nevis. The details after this break.
Coronaviruses are a large family of viruses that cause illness ranging from the common cold to more severe diseases such as Middle East Respiratory Syndrome MERS-CoV and Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome SARS-CoV. The 2019 novel coronavirus 2019 nCoV is a new strain that has not been previously identified in humans. Coronaviruses are zoonotic, meaning they are transmitted from animals to humans. Detailed investigations found that SARS-CoV was transmitted from civet cats to humans and MERS-CoV from dromedary camels to humans. Several known coronaviruses are circulating in animals that have not yet infected humans. Common signs of infection include respiratory symptoms, fever, cough, shortness of breath, and breathing difficulties. In more severe cases, infection can cause pneumonia, severe acute respiratory syndrome, kidney failure, and even death. To protect yourself and prevent the spread of the infection, practice regular hand washing, covering mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing, thoroughly cooking meat and eggs. Avoid close contact with anyone showing symptoms of respiratory illness such as coughing and sneezing.
Welcome back. The Caribbean Tourism Organization CTO advises of the postponement of the 10th Tourism Resources Conference, which was scheduled to take place in May. The new date for the event, being organized in collaboration with the Nevis Ministry of Tourism, is November 25th to 27th, 2020. In light of the constantly changing nature of the coronavirus crisis and in the wake of the decision by the World Health Organization to declare COVID-19 COVID-19 pandemic, the CTO and the government of Nevis have decided that postponing the conference is the best course of action, said Sharon Banfield, the CTO's Director of Resource Mobilization and Development. The CTO will continue to diligently monitor the situation and pay close attention to guidance from regional public health officials. The following is a press release from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs regarding the biometric processing for Canadian visa applications in St. Kitts and Nevis. The Canadian High Commission wishes to inform the general public that in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, the biometrics collection visit scheduled for March 26th and 27th, 2020 has been postponed. When a new date is decided, it will be communicated to the general public. The Canadian High Commission regrets any inconvenience this postponement may cause. That's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. Thank you for viewing.